It's Absolutely Auburn, a place where we'll talk about all things Auburn, Maine, because we're in the middle of it all. The City of Auburn's communications team is dedicated to helping you connect with city government and learn everything you need to know about Auburn, our city, our people, our events, and our community. Welcome to Absolutely Auburn.
Hey everyone, today we have Ward 4 Councilor Benjamin Weisner and Ward 5 Councilor Leroy Walker. Councilor Weisner is one of our newest members, whereas Councilor Walker is on his 7th term. Tune in, listen, and learn more about what they're looking forward to and why they serve the City of Auburn as City Council members. Welcome back to Absolutely Auburn. I'm your host, Jenn Bonig, and joining me as always in the studio is our amazing producer, Abby Bourne.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Abby. And today we are welcoming Ward 4 Councilor Benjamin Weisner.
Hello.
And Ward 5 Councilor Leroy Walker.
Hello. Nice to be with you.
Thank you both for joining us. As you may or may not know, depending on how often you listen, these last few episodes we've been introducing you to our council members. And just a quick reminder, the Auburn City Council is comprised of the mayor and 7 councilors. So today we have wards 4 and 5. And Councilor Weisner, you were elected to the council this past November.
Yes.
And Councilor Walker, you are serving your 7th term.
Yeah, long time, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Quite a difference in this room, which is cool.
And I was surprised. I knew you had been on the council for a while, but I didn't realize you were in your 7th term when our city clerk shared that information with me. So
Yeah, 7 terms means 14 years.
right. I was like, wow, okay. Now, Councilor Weisner, being a part of the city council isn't your full-time job.
No, it's not.
You are a licensed public adjuster.
Yes.
And own Breakwater Public Adjusting. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so public adjusting is its occupation is to help policyholders, the homeowner or business owner, when they have an insurance claim. So my job as a public adjuster is to help them with the building estimates, their contents, and the process, because it's really the policyholder's duty and responsibility to make claims. So I'm there to assist them with that. The insurance company has their own adjusters, but the homeowner and business owner has the right to hire their own adjusters. So it's looked at as a public adjuster as an advocate to the homeowner to helping them through that traumatic process.
I was going to say, that's got to be nice to have someone to kind of walk you through the process, because you have so many questions and you only get so many answers, I'm sure, from insurance companies. And I get it. Like everyone likes to cover their own backsides, per se, right?
Yes. Yeah, but it's good to have somebody on your side that,
right.
you got a question.
Bounce ideas off of or questions.
Say, hey, is this going to be, how do we go about this? I have these contents items. How are we going to, how is that going to go? How do we make claim for this or that? And that's my job, is to assist them through that process and help them, because everybody has their own full-time job, and my full-time job is to deal with these insurance claims. That. Yeah, and you only have a homeowner's claim probably once in your life.
Hopefully.
So, hopefully, or not at all.
Hopefully,
but if you do, I'm here to help.
That's awesome. Now, what is it like being a small business owner here in Maine?
It's great. I love it. It's something I can give back to the community. I'm active within the community, and Breakwater Public Adjusting is looking to do that, is to, be here to support the community and be here for the long term. So
nice. So see, it's nice. It's good to do business here in the state of Maine.
Yes,
it sure is. Yes,
especially in Auburn. Come to Auburn. Check out what we have. We're in the middle of it all. Isn't that what we tell people?
Yeah, and it's opportunity, or what is it?
Opportunity lives here.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I should know that.
Yeah. It's okay. There's been a lot of taglines thrown around, I think, over time. Right, Councilor Walker? You would know.
Yeah, for sure. There's been a ton of it.
The good one was LA. It's happening here.
It's right.
That was the old.
It's happening here.
Yeah.
Well, that's been a while.
Yeah, a lot of us would like to say the AL.
The AL, yeah. We're in Auburn.
Right.
Right.
A before L,
That's
right?
Yeah, in my alphabet.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, Councilor Walker, you have, as we said just a little bit ago, 7th term or 14 years, but you also worked for the city of Auburn for 39 years, almost 40 years as the parks superintendent in what was then the Parks and Recreation Department.
That's correct.
And you've served on, and still serve on, a variety of boards and committees, including, both of you serve on the age-friendly committee. We talked about that earlier off mic.
Yes.
Waste energy.
Waste energy, okay.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
No, but
so yeah, you know this city inside and out, and you're a lifelong resident as well, correct?
I am. I was born though in Minot, Maine.
We won't hold it against
close
you.
enough.
Okay. But since I was 5 years old, I've been right here.
You've been right here, right? And you graduated from Edward Little.
Yes.
Yeah. So, with such a long history of public service, why do you continue to serve the residents of Auburn in this way, doing all of these various things?
Well, I can start with when I worked for the city for 39 years, I realized South Auburn was kind of the offbeat part of the city. And I knew that because they were always second to get anything that may be offered to the city of Auburn. So as I got older and got nearer to retirement, said I was going to get out there and meet with the people in the south part of Auburn, and we were going to become known. I was lucky because we, at the same time, had Mayor Labonte that ran for a position and won it. I also won my position. Belinda won her position, and we also had another gentleman from New Auburn. So it all came together pretty well because all of us had the same thing in mind, was to make New Auburn a little bit better place than what it has been in the past. And I think we've all had our share in making sure that New Auburn has been known to the community at least for the last 12, 13 years.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a legacy there. You know, Councilor Milks joked in our last episode that you're the mayor of New Auburn.
Yes.
I heard him say that. Yeah, that's followed me ever since Labonte was the mayor, because him and I kidded around. I could have run for mayor at that time, or he could have run for mayor, and of course, I felt Jonathan would have been the best mayor of all. I connected, in my opinion, a little bit closer with the people in New Auburn, not so much the whole city. And I just felt that I was closer to that area because I wanted to get things moving. I can go back and tell you history of many things that happened in Old Auburn, and I'm not jealous because it happened in Old Auburn. I was just, in my mind, saying we need to share it between the whole city. East Auburn is another one that's a little community out of the way, and they have, in many times, been the forgotten person in the room, you know. So I just happen to be fortunate enough to win and know enough people, and a lot of people have liked the way that, you know, I have moved with this council and other councils that, you know, that people have been with me, and they help move things forward in New Auburn, and I believe we've done a great job at this point.
Yes, and there's something to be said for that historical knowledge that you have, having been here and really embedded in the community. I mean, you are out and about in New Auburn all the time. I run into you when I am over in Anniversary Park or, you know, in Rollies, wherever it may be. I usually will run into you in some way. And now when you decided to run, is that kind of when you also, is that when the United New Auburn Association formed as well? Because I know you're very active with that group as well.
No, we were already formed. Where that really came from was there used to be a New Auburn Business Association. Well, they, about 25 years ago or 20 years ago for sure, they dissolved. And we hadn't had one for about 5, 6, 7 years. So I met with Kenny one day and said, hey, let's start a United New Auburn Association. And I said, that way we can invite anybody and everybody, and it doesn't have to be just New Auburn, but the whole city. So we have people that come to the meeting that want to voice their opinions sometimes. And that's not a city function. It's actually one that we started as, group in New Auburn. And it's been going now, I think we've been at it like 16 years. And like I said, I'm going into my 14th year as counselor. So we've been around a little bit longer. And I started that hoping that more people would get involved in the city than what's even involved at this time. Back then, we were doing a master plan to connect with the master plan of the city. And Roland Miller was part of that back then. So that's why I wanted our little group to be part of that so that they wouldn't be left out once again. It took that plan, 15 years, I guess, to really come about. And that's how New Auburn got its new park that we got down there. We had to remove buildings. We had to put a big plan together, a lot of money. It took a lot to do it. But and that plan's going on and on as we go. It doesn't stop. Yep. But we really wouldn't have got it to where it is today without the committee that I formed in New Auburn and being a city councilor. It would have taken 25 years to get to where we are. But with myself pushing it, and like I said, with the people we had on board back a few years ago, we moved New Auburn to a good place, real good place.
And that's why community participation is so important. And that's something we've kind of mentioned with the other counselors. Get involved. There are boards and committees, whether you just come and volunteer and or listen, but come listen, participate, sit in on the meetings, watch the meetings on YouTube if you can't make them. You can find all the various boards and committees on our website, auburnmaine.gov. There's application process for certain boards and committees. Others, I think it's probably a more informal process where you could join. And then, of course, there are groups like United New Auburn Association where anyone is welcome. I love coming to the meetings. I've been to a few. It's a great group of people. And everyone's very supportive and looking to be a supportive, inclusive group, I think.
And another group that we have is the Neighborhood Watch Group. That has been running for about 14 years. And we've been very lucky. The Auburn Police Department actually sponsored that. But again, it's because my group of people, we've kept it going.
Yep.
We have
You've
people,
got an active group of people.
Yeah, we keep people coming. We keep them, we want them to be part of it and feel like it's for them. It isn't just a group of, uppy-uppies, and that's all we are. We talk about many things that go on in New Auburn. Many of them are the older age people because I believe New Auburn is up in, the upper group of most of the two cities, tell you the truth. But anyways, we do very well. And Lieutenant Harrington has been with us, I believe, right from the very beginning. But we keep it very active. If Lieutenant Harrington can't make it, then I'm there. I keep it going, and we invite different speakers. Like you said, you came to the United New Auburn. We have almost different speakers every month at that one. At the Neighborhood Watch, it's usually what goes on within the area and the police department.
Yep.
And then we talk about things that we have to watch out for that are in the dark clouds. Sometimes you don't really see what's coming down the road.
Yeah, and let's face it, if the people who live in the neighborhood know the neighborhood best.
That's right.
And you know where those trouble spots may be, and you know different things to look out for. So neighborhood watch groups are, I think, a tremendous asset for the community.
Yeah, we definitely need to get the others back up and going. Most of them are not operating at all now, and it's one of them little ones that don't ever really grow to be a big one. But it's important to have it because there are some people that want to communicate, but it takes counselors to hold it together. because Lieutenant Harrington, for instance, he doesn't have the time to go out and meet with everyone and talk with them like I do. I'm a retired person to start with. This man works every day of the week, so it makes it tough. But I get out there, I try to get to people, I make the phone calls, and it just goes on. But the rest of the city hasn't had that luck at this point. We started up three of them a few years ago. They've all been just sitting and idling. They have people assigned to them, but for some reason he can't or she can't get the help.
They're just not active. Yeah,
and it's too bad. It's something that needs to be really worked on.
Yeah, I have to say I've attended a good chunk of meetings for the United New Auburn Association as well as the Neighborhood Watch, and I have to say the great work that you've been doing to keep those groups going, because it really does keep the public informed of what's going on, even though they're monthly meetings. I mean, you can learn a lot from going to those meetings and keep up to date.
Absolutely.
So I would highly encourage anybody to attend those meetings, and that's one of the things. I mean, you started a great thing and had that going, and that's something I'm looking into of doing within Ward 4 as well, is to keep the public involved.
Well, and Councilor Weisner, why did you decide to run for council and serve residents in this way?
So I got involved because I wanted to be a part of the process. I'm younger. I'm 34 years old. So I just wanted to have a thought of having a younger voice, so part of the process and being involved in a way to give back to the community with some of new, fresh ideas a part of the council. So that's why I ran, and a way to help out the ward, and the citizens within it. So, which
is great, because we need people to help do the work. That's it, and staying connected and in tune with what's going on is so helpful, and it's great. It's great to see kind of the two dynamics. I know, Councilor Walker, you're retired, and Councilor Weisner, you own your own business, which probably gives you a little bit of flexibility, but it's a time commitment no matter how you look at it. And that just speaks to, I think, your passion for wanting to serve the community in that way. So thank you for that, both of you. Yeah,
you gotta find the time to make it work, and it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
So, Councilor Weisner, we're in your first term. It's only been a couple of months. So what can you speak to, speak to the work that you've been doing, and kind of usually what we ask is kind of what does a typical day look like?
So usually it's, going through emails that I'm getting on a daily basis, kind of staying in touch with what's going on, being a part of the various committees. So I'm on the age-friendly committee. I'm also on the airport board, as well as the 911 committee. So kind of staying up to date with what's going on with those committees, various emails back and forth, emails with constituents. And then when the Thursdays before the city council meetings are coming up, then it's diving into the agenda of what's going on and looking through the paperwork and really getting...
And that can be lengthy.
Yes. Yes.
Right? That can be very lengthy. Over 100 pages, I think. Yes. Probably... Gosh, depending on what's on the agenda, sometimes it could probably be even more than that.
Many times it is.
Right? Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
That's a lot to dig into. So
late night reading.
Yeah, exactly. I'd almost say bedtime reading, but don't fall asleep doing it. Okay. So got to be focused, right? Yeah. So, Councilor Walker, obviously you've been doing it a little bit longer than Councilor Weisner. What does that work look like for you? And I know you kind of alluded to that, mentioning, taking the time to make phone calls, staying connected with people. But what does that council work look like for you?
Well, the council work, again, it's mostly reading and keeping up with what we're going to have on our agendas and be ready and prepared. It's just like tonight. We have a special meeting called for tonight. And, we can read it all. Or we can read and bounce through the highlights, and then, when we get to the meeting tonight, we'll all discuss what and where we want to, be with this and move it on by, voting yes or voting no, whatever way we decide to go with it. But I guess being a counselor to me, is more important to make sure that I'm out and about with all the people that want me out there. I'm been very lucky. I've got a lot of people that call me but most of the people that call me are very nice. People think, oh boy, I don't want to be a counselor because there's so many idiots out there. I've talked to so many people about it, and they just say, how can you do it with all them idiots? And they're not idiots. Everyone that's ever called me, they have a concern or they wouldn't call me. Mm-hmm. And number two, most everyone is very nice. They start off with, I really have something I got to get off my chest. And I say, that's why I'm here. So whatever it is, don't be afraid to tell me. And I open the door to them, and you can hear their voice calm right down. And it's less than a minute in most cases. And then we start talking about how we got to wherever their problem is. What do I think I can do for them? And I never promise them that I can solve it.
Right.
But I definitely can look into it, and I think I can help them along. I have to go to my manager because I've been told more than once, do not step out of the protocol.
Yeah.
And I do once in a while still, but I might get called to the carpet again. But when I first started as a counselor, I was really new, but I was aggressive, and I got called to the carpet more than once there the first 3-4 years, because you want to get things done for everyone, and you want
to solve the problem.
Yeah, you think, well, they all voted for me, so why shouldn't I be able to go and talk to anyone, whoever it may be? Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way. So you got to go to the top where you belong. We work with the city manager, and we've been lucky. We've had great city managers. Maybe some have only been here a short time. But I enjoy being the middleman and getting back to people. And I'm not one that loves to write everything down or get on the phone and make a great big long love letter to somebody. I just rather call them, tell them that, I'm moving the process forward. Mm-hmm. I'll get back to you in a few days. If I don't, please call me. Mm-hmm. I don't care when you call me. You can call me at 2 a.m. if you have to.
Well, try not to, though, folks.
Right.
But I've had it because of snowplow.
Yeah.
When somebody gets their mailbox knocked off at 2 a.m, it sounds like a bomb going off.
I know, right? Ooh, that's a heck of a way to wake up.
You'll call me instead of calling Public Works. But again, I guess it's being a counselor and making the contacts and trying to do what people want done or get the help that they need. And we can't always get it done. A lot of it has to do with money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Mm-hmm. Taxpayers are taxed is just, I don't know how much
taxes are never
more.
Low enough.
No.
Yeah. Right.
And if you keep them too low, you don't have the money to do anything.
Exactly.
So
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a battle.
It's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
To try to tiptoe through it. But again, I guess I like working with the people, and I think most people like working with me. And again, we don't get everything we want, but we try to get it fixed. Sometimes it's sidewalks, sometimes it's roads, just crazy things. Sometimes it's a big tree limb hanging over somebody's house and they're nervous about it. Then you got the boundary line. Where is it? Oh, well, I don't own that far, but the city should have it up to here. And then you're trying to be nice. You're trying to be a nice person and work with all of them, but they wouldn't reelect me if they didn't like me. Or
I think that's true.
That's true. That is, and not 7 times, people. I mean, right? You're clearly doing something right.
Yeah, your record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I think I'm the longest straight running, meaning no breaks at this point.
Yes. Councilor Geary. I think according to Sue and Councilor Geary will be on our next episode, but I believe she's also served like 8 or 9 terms, but not consecutively. That's she had a break in between. Yep. So
she went to Augusta for a while.
Yes.
And then she lost one election to a young fella.
And then she came back. So, and I think it's important, it sounds like people call you because they know you're willing to listen. And I think sometimes that's what it takes. It takes someone who's willing to listen and say, okay, I can't promise you that I'm going to solve the problem, but let's talk through this and see if or how we can solve the problem. And I know, and Councilor Whiting had said that too. he enjoys being a problem solver and kind of looking at things and like, okay, what can we do to move this, forward or in a different direction if kind of that's the way people want to go. So listening is always a big part, right?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, again, that's what we're elected to do. We're elected from our wards to be a representative on the council, and our job's to listen to the public, the citizens and the public, and hear their concerns and their issues and bring them to the city and try to see what can be done and working with the city staff. So very important.
What are you most looking forward to here in the next 2 years serving as a counselor? What kind of impact are you hoping to have over the next 2 years?
What I'm looking forward to is connecting with the community of Ward 4, as well as connecting with the other counselors and the mayor and the staff, and trying to figure out better ways to bring those issues and concerns from the public to the city to make it for Auburn for a great place. I mean, people live here. They think it's a great place as well as I. That's why I'm here with my wife, and we're starting a family here. So we like it here, and so do a lot of people. So we want to make that continue to expand upon. So that's kind of one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to is on the council is continue making Auburn a great place to live for people and for other people to come here and live.
Yes. Live, work, and play, right?
Yes.
So important. So a question that we ask everyone. What is your favorite thing about Auburn? And it doesn't have to be related to city council, city hall. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So, Councilor Walker, you want to go first?
No, I'll let Ben.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard one. I mean, I love the downtown area. I mean, I live in the downtown, but I really like the downtown feel. I mean, everybody down here, it's I mean, no matter where you go in Auburn, it's everybody's family around here, and I like the downtown vibes that it gives. And Auburn's got the best of everything. You've got, you got your downtown areas, and you got your urban, and you can be out hiking if you want to, or you can be downtown hanging out with your friends. I think the best part of Auburn is Auburn. It's a weird,
No, I know. What you
no,
mean.
but it is. I mean, it's got everything. I mean, people say that. I say that about Maine. I mean, people say from other states that like Maine's a great place to live too, because you've got the oceans, you got the mountains, and you've got the flat. You got Aroostook County. I mean, you literally got the United States, the whole country,
all the
right?
Different, all the different topography, and you can go out, like you said, you could ocean kayak, you could river kayak, you could throw that kayak in on a pond in your backyard. It depends. We have everything here.
Yeah, Auburn's got it all.
We've got it all.
I totally,
I'm sorry, I
totally agree.
You're like, I don't know what to say now.
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
No, I wanted you to answer that first because I wanted to go in a little different way than that, because I worked for the city of Auburn for 39 plus, and growing up through all of that, recreation was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
The city didn't have a lot of recreation when I started back over 55 years ago. And we grew all the recreation as it went, and it has come a long ways. And I'm proud of most of that, because we would not have the dual ice arena if it wasn't for Councilor Walker. I was the one that got the votes. I was the one that got the council to believe in me and believe that the city of Auburn needed this. We also wouldn't have the Auburn Senior Citizens Community Center if it wasn't for Councilor Walker. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm serious. These are the things that I worked hard for in this city to get passed. And that's what I'm proud of for the city of Auburn, because we have these places for all kinds of different things to be done. Not just a senior center is great, but it isn't just seniors. We have every function you can think of going through that building. We have also the Hasty Community Center, which Norris Ingersoll was the one that actually pulled that together to get that onto the map for the city of Auburn. That recreation building has seen millions of people, and that started when I was park superintendent in Auburn as well. But Norris Ingersoll was the recreation director, and he's the one that pulled that all together with with, again, the councilors that were here back in them days and the mayors. So, we've got a lot of great things to bring people to our community. The Ingersoll turf facility, that Ingersoll turf facility was going to be turned over to another group of people with the city manager that was here at the time. And I said, I don't think we're going to do that if I have my way. And they said, why? I said, because it needs to stay here in the recreation department. And we had to work at that. It didn't come easy. We were told that we couldn't afford it and we couldn't run it and everything. And I said, we can if we all put our heads together and we figure out what we're going to do. And we did it. So them are the kind of things I think that, makes me feel good about Auburn, that we've got places for everybody from the smallest youth you want, with programs all the way up through. Many of them things we didn't have. We had to get them. And the last one I'll say is the beach. Most people, we've got 14 different names for the beach, but I'll just call it Auburn's Beach. And we have finally started to bring the beach area back to life. Yeah. And with the city manager we have now in place, and I think the councilors, at least the ones that were just in the past, we really wanted to grow this area and bring it back. And I think we've done that. It's a growing thing that's going to take a while. It's not all done yet. It's kind of like New Auburn. It takes time to grow all of this. And so I guess that's my spiel, other than, Councilor Weisner was right. Auburn is Auburn, and it's a great place to live.
Yeah, it's important, though, that you point those things out, Councilor Walker, because it is, all of those things are a fabric in our community, right? A lot of people come to Auburn and they play in Norway Savings Bank Arena. A lot of people are using the Auburn Senior Community Center, and it is truly a community center. Yes, it houses the senior group as well, but it is a place for everyone, and folks can access that space. It's a beautiful space. And I remember growing up, my brother played hockey, and Pettingill was a hideous outdoor rink. And I hated it.
And it was one of the coldest.
Yes, it was awful.
Yeah.
And we would, although I don't know what the place is called now, we would always travel. I grew up in Greene, and we would always travel up to Kennebec Ice Arena. It's called something else now, and I think it has since been rebuilt because it collapsed in on itself at one point. But all of that stuff, it's important, and it's those things that do attract people here to the city of Auburn.
Well, you knits a community together, right? Brings it closer together.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, Abby, but you said it better.
Succinctly.
Well, the good thing is we have city leaders that believe in, a lot of the same things that we tried to get to move forward. We took the baseball field that was no longer being used as a baseball field, and we turned it into a beautiful softball complex. And Pettingill Park now has lights in both fields, and they're both beautiful fields as long as they kept up the way they should be. I think people have enjoyed the old baseball field just as much as the baseball people did in their day. And we get to use them every day of the week now. Before baseball, I can go all the way back when the Aces were there and the high school was there. We used it maybe 3 nights a week. Maybe they'd practice on the weekend, maybe they wouldn't.
Right.
Now, 7 days a week, fields are going.
Yeah, you've got to get stuff scheduled out, and we really do have a robust recreation program, which, again, speaks volumes for the community. And like you said, serving young children all the way up through, there is no age limit, really,
no, there isn't.
with a lot of the programming. So there is truly something for everyone, depending on what you're looking for.
Yep. See, and that's another group that I'm president of, the First Auburn Senior Citizens Group, and we're over 100 that gather.
Oh, wow.
We usually have between 80 and 85 people at our meetings. Once in a while we'll get higher than that, but that's about where we stand. And I think we've got 120 registered because we've got some people that are in their 90s, almost their hundreds.
Oh my gosh!
Still registered with us, but they don't
participate.
Don't come to the functions. Yeah. It's too much for them. But we and then we have the New Auburn Senior Citizen Group that uses our facility now. They came from the Sacred Heart Church.
Yeah,
and they are about the same size as we are. So
wow!
So we're pretty big. Robindale is somewhere between 50 and 60. So
that's outstanding.
A lot of seniors that are coming to use it.
Yeah. Yes, that's great, and it is. I mean, it's a beautiful space.
Yeah, and they have a lot of programs, and it helps them. The rec department has put together some strong programs. Makes it great. We again, we went out and bought a small 15-passenger bus.
Yep.
It's an age-friendly bus. It says it right on it. That's what it is, and then the recreation department also bought a bus. There's this recreation bus, but that one's probably used the most because they like driving that one the best,
right.
But
I saw it out this morning on my way to work.
Yeah,
she had the bus loaded up. I don't know where they were going, but
yeah. The good thing is we have them both. If the recreation one has to run to the school sometimes, so we have the age-friendly one that can take any trip that they want to take, which is great. I'm hoping because of being ahead of the age-friendly that we can do a few more things. And it's something that we got to start working on planning for the future because we want to do some of the things that the recreation department is doing.
Yep. And I encourage anyone who is interested in any of the programs and participating in any groups, committees, anything like that, go to the city's website, auburnmaine.gov. You can find information about the rec department. You can find information and contact information, too, for all of our city council members, as well as the mayor, obviously city staff as well in the various departments. If you were to know which department you wanted to reach out to. But all the contact information is there on the city's website. And you can also always reach out at any point to comments.
Yep. Comments at auburnmaine.gov.
Okay. So any sort of comments, questions, that'll get filtered through city staff and go to the appropriate folks as well. So feel free to reach out and listeners, feel free to reach out to the comments and suggest other upcoming podcast episodes, other things you would like to hear from us as well. We love your ideas and we're here to serve the Auburn residents, and we want to give you the information that you're looking for. So please feel free to reach out. And our upcoming episode, we will have our final two council members, our counselors at large, Belinda Geary and Adam Platts will be joining us on our next episode. So make sure you tune into that. And thank you, Councilor Walker. Thank you, Councilor Weisner, for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining us on Absolutely Auburn. You can find all things Auburn, Maine at auburnmaine.gov and goauburn.me. You can also listen to us anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, just to name a few. The City of Auburn's communications team wants to remind you that Absolutely Auburn is the only official podcast for the City of Auburn, Maine.